Hello and welcome. I'm your host Gadd, and my co-host for today's video is Charlie. Say hi, Charlie. She's shy today. Today's video, I'll go over my Trial of the Horde build for the best class in the game, Crusaders. I'll break down the skills and legendaries, skill rotation, Paragon, set gear, and legendary gems for great success during the Trial of the Hordes event. Skills and legendaries. Sweep attack. For the main hand 1, resonating mace to activate the holy flail, making your sweep attack your primary attack damage to all nearby enemies. And on the helm, I use a Zil Flare for the increased damage of sweep attack. Fallen sword for the main hand 2, luminous rain to activate divinity rod, making fallen sword damage all nearby enemies around and reducing their movement speed. Condemn for the chest, heart of grandeur to activate lightning in a bottle, doing lightning damage to all nearby enemies. Offhand 1, torrential refrain, making condemn immediately trigger all damage over time effects on targets instantly. And on the offhand 2, gates of hell, which increases the damage of condemn to all enemies below 50% HP. Drawn quarters for pants, galloping brilliance, makes Charlie a horse of light, causing all nearby enemies to take damage, and damage you deal increased by 30% in the aura. And lastly, shoulders, certificates advantage, increasing the duration of drawn quarters. Punish and sacred fire for the passive attack doesn't matter because it will be changed out with sweep attack, and you'll be on your horse 100% of the time. Skill rotation. For the skill rotation, you want to start off by using sweep attack, which changes your passive attack, then into drawn quarters, while holding down your primary attacks. Next, fallen sword, followed by condemn. Maintain drawn quarter and sweep attack on cooldown. Combine fallen sword and condemn at the same time when on top of bosses and or large groups of mobs for AoE burst damage. Paragon. For the Paragon, I recommend using the slinger for tons of damage, speccing into unseen diasma for the damage increase, stacking every time you hit an enemy. Uncanning, increasing your crit hit chance for 10 or more stacks of unseen. Gifted, make an unseen stack up to 15 times, increasing your total damage by 15%. Careful aim, increasing your total damage by 2% up to 8% every meter you are from an enemy. And precision, increasing careful aim from 2% to 3% per meter. Lastly, benefactor for my legendary skill, giving me a 15% shield of my maximum life after using a buff skill. Set gear. For the set gear, 4-piece Vestige urge for the increase to beneficial effects and increase to attack speed. And I use a 4-piece mount banks because at the time of this video, I was still farming for Eternal 3 gear, proccing a 33% shield of my max life and moving unhindering through enemies while it's active. It makes it very useful in this event. But I recommend a 2-piece banquet set for the 15% increased damage to enemies affected by damage over time, 2-piece mount banks, and 4-piece Vestige. Legendary gems. For the legendary gems, I recommend using these gems that will increase your damage, increase your beneficial effects, and do AoE damage to all nearby enemies. For the 1-star, Blessed Pebble for the increased beneficial effects, Berserker's Eyes for the increased damage, and Everlasting Torment for damage over time and attack speed buff. For the 2-star, Pain Clasp for the increased damage and movement speed, Viper's Bite for damage over time effect, and lastly for the 5 stars, Blood-Soaked Jade for the movement speed and damage increase, and Rolling Consequence for the increased crit chance and burning damage. These legendary gems will work together inside this event and will help you grow stronger outside this event. So overall, this build is just run around in a small circle, killing mobs on your horse. If you don't have 100% uptime on your horse, that is okay. Using a Blessed Pebble and at least 2-piece Vestige should be alright if you don't have any skill cooldown reduction or increased beneficial effects on your gear. Bottle Hope is an A-tier 5-star gem as well for cooldown reduction and damage increase. Make sure when bosses spawn, burst them down quickly to send to your opponent. The boss has AoE underneath him, so do be careful. If you are using the Wildfire Reforged set bonus where you have a chance to summon a Hydra, stay away from them towards the end since the mobs do aggro to them and you don't get hit by the crossfire. Saving energy orbs refreshes all the skill cooldowns for large mobs or if you're knocked off your horse. Saving frenzy orbs for large mobs with bosses. If you're having trouble and dying at the end, I recommend the Survivor Paragon if you want to outlast your opponent. Here are the skills I recommend. Indestructible for the 3-second cheat death. Unyielding for a 10% missing life, you take 1.2% less damage. Stalwart increases block chance for 6 seconds when you're below 30% life. Escape Artist to increase your movement speed and move unhindered through monsters. And lastly, Precognition to reduce Stalwart and Escape Artist cooldown from 60 seconds to 45. Hope you find this helpful. Don't forget to save this build to your armory. I have an event tab my army for when current events are active. Best of luck and have fun. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Message me in game or on Discord. See you next time.